I am the king. Very nice indeed. This is my review for Hunter x Hunter, episode 108, titled Gungi and Komugi. Yeah. So what's up, people? I'm Trey, Animation Station right here, and we're going to talk about this right now. Basically, two things go on. We got the palace over here and what's going on inside, and we got the Hunter Association and what's going down with them and how they're planning to invade the palace. So yeah. So at the beginning of this episode, the selection process is 3 days away. But by the end of this episode, we are 1 day away, and previews of the episode kind of show that we are at the due date now. So everything is coming to fruition, and we're finally going to be seeing these battles unfold, and it's about time. I can't wait to see it. But, let's go ahead and get through this episode real quick. Talking about the Hunter Association first, we got 7 hunters that's going to be basically entering the portal. They're not including Knov, because Knov is basically not participating in the fighting right now. At least it looks that way. He may change his mind or maybe find his bravado and come through and save the day. So they gather in this area and they formulate a plan. Basically, everybody's going to enter, like the first 6 hunters are going to enter, and then Chairman Netero is going to enter last outside Neferpitou's Nin area, and basically come through and take on the king himself. The plan of the first 6 is to separate the royal guard from the king, which they see is going to be very difficult. And Malarion, with his ability, he could sneak on in there undetected. Everything will go pretty smoothly if everything goes right. During this time, Killua is actually having doubts because he doesn't think the plan is going to work out as smoothly as they think. And I don't think that way either, because most plans that these people make don't actually pan out like they're supposed to. But we'll see that happen next episode. Back to the palace, man. What's going down in the palace? What is the king up to? Yep, he's still playing Gungi with Komugi. And at this time, the king decides to take another break, and he heads out. And then Shiapouf is actually contemplating in his head whether or not to kill Komugi, because he sees that Komugi is changing the king, and he doesn't like the way the king is changing. So he goes to lay hands on Komugi. And before he does that, he actually realizes in his head that by doing this, he basically cements the fact that Komugi defeated the king, and the king can never ever redeem himself. How can he beat a dead person, right? And so Shiapouf is over here crying, and he grabs his violin and starts playing and stuff. I'm like, dude, this dude is like super fucking dramatic. It's crazy. And when he tries to tell the king about his plan, about his what he thinks should happen with the selection and everything else, the king ain't having it, man. He's only concerned with one thing, and that's Gungi right now. He basically leaves all the decision making up to Shiapouf and the rest of the royal guard. So he won't be taking a part of that. He doesn't even care about that. That's not even his concern right now. At one point in time, Komugi actually showcases her aura, and he actually sees it, and she's like overwhelmed by this, and she wants to go back and actually memorize the moves that she just made, because the king is developing. He's getting better at Komugi. I mean at Gungi, and Komugi is doing the same thing. She's actually developing too. So they're all going on a separate path. Like, let's say Komugi's right here and the king is right here. The king is like, he's moving forward, he's getting to Komugi's level, but Komugi isn't stopping. She's going forward too. So they're both going in succession. So no one's really making any progress as far as the defeat goes. And on her way out, because she wants to take a break, the king asks her name. And I just realized right now that we never actually learned her name up to this point. And the only reason I know her name is because one of my subscribers actually told me. So we really never learned her name. And though, you tell her, my name is Komugi. And then in return, she asks, what's your name? And the king is just like baffled. He's just stunned right here. What is my name? Because the king in itself is a title bestowed upon him. It's not really his name. And he calls up the royal guard. He calls neferpitou. He calls Yusuf, I think that's his name. And then he calls Shiapouf all together, and he trying to ask them, you know, what's my name? What's my name? And then they don't know his name. They're just trying to like basically appease him, give him an answer that they think he wants to hear. And at this point in time, the king is actually contemplating, because he's seeing that Komugi is actually powerful, but in a different way. Not might, but she's powerful in this game called Gungi. And he actually sees that he actually extinguished that chance of people to develop their potential, because he's killed children, he's killed other people, and he's actually contemplating that in his head. And the whole time Shiapouf is getting worried, like, dude, I hope you're not worried about regret, because showing regret as a king is like a bad sign. That means that you kind of lose your resolve to kill, in a sense. And the king is just like, he comes to in his own mind, like, man, fuck that. I am the king. This is just self motivation for me, because it just proves that I am the strongest in the world. Like, my power is might, and might is right, basically, because even though these dudes have potential and they're good in their own right, if I'm able to kill them, then their power doesn't mean anything. And then Shiapouf, being very emotional, just cries a fucking pool of tears and everything. I'm not worthy and shit. I'm like, okay, dude, calm down, man. He's very dramatic, dude. And the king, he's walking slowly to Komugi's room, contemplating about killing her the whole time. And as soon as he opens the door to Komugi's room, he sees that a hawk is actually attacking her, and she is just all jacked up. I'm talking about scars all over her body, blood dripping out. And what does he do? He comes to her aid. He actually kills the hawk, comes to her side, and be like, why didn't you tell nobody you were hurt? Why didn't you alert the guards or something like that? She's like, I didn't want to be a bother, you know. And now the king is conflicted again. Before, he had his resolve right, until he actually saw Komugi in danger and getting injured. His resolve kind of melted away. You know, I'm the king, my power is absolute. All that kind of died down a bit when he saw Komugi getting hurt. So he's truly developing feelings for her. And Komugi at this point in time, she's looking like a hot mess. I'm talking about snot coming down her nose, tears coming down her eyes, blood all over. I mean, she's just looking hot mess. She's screaming and crying. No one's ever been this nice to me before. I'm like, goddamn, she just looks awful. She looks awful right now, man. But I really like the direction that the king is going with this relationship. I feel like he's a big brother to Komugi now. And I kind of like that, but it's also a bad thing for him, because she can be used as leverage. Like, if the hunters actually got their hands on Komugi and find out about that. I mean, I don't think they would do that. They're not the villains in this scenario, but if they actually wanted to, they could get their hands on Komugi, and then they probably have leverage on the king right now, because he really does care about her. And, you know, looking at the next episode, we see that the selection day has arrived. We see herds of people coming towards the palace. And we also see Knov, and for some reason his hair is white. I think Knov has actually scared the pigment out of his hair follicles, people. Yeah. But nah. I'm gonna leave Knov alone, man. He may surprise me later on. Who knows? I don't read the manga, I just watch the anime. That's how it is. But overall, I thought this episode was pretty good. Good to see the king, man. You know, if you like this, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. You know, subscribe to my channel, and also check me out on Facebook. The Chimera King Meruem. I'll put it right here. Basically, I'm a moderator. I post content, pictures sometimes, and stuff like that. But it's a pretty interesting page. Go ahead and check it out when you got a chance. All right, y'all. Adios.